Alex. Great to have you with us. So tell us a little bit about their R&D operations. Is that where their hordes of cash is going into?
Yeah, we've seen their R&D spending double over the past 5 years, more than double, to about $11 billion annually. And as that happens, we've seen them open a bunch of offices all over the place. Some of them not very big, but strategically placed to really seemingly poach engineering talent from competitors, suppliers, and so on. We've seen graphics processor units, which are now Apple has its own chip in phones, which drive images and videos and so on. And they've opened a stack of offices near people like AMD and Imagination Technologies. And as a consequence, have been able to pull engineers from those companies to advance their own R&D.
Well, isn't this what companies always have done? I mean, if you go back to Sony versus Samsung, I mean, that's what killed off Sony, but it's what made Sony as well, right?
Yeah, it's something that people have been doing for a long time, but it's just interesting, we thought at least, to point out where they're doing this.
Yes.
It really gives an indication of what they deem strategically important. As we said, chips, mapping, and augmented reality stuff. These are three high priorities for Apple and what they're throwing a lot of R&D dollars at right now.
Of course, Apple Watch being released today. Is this a winner-take-all situation for the market?
Or tomorrow, you mean?
Or tomorrow,
yes.
sorry about that.
So what do you mean? What do you mean by winner-takes-all situation? In the sense that Apple will hog up the market's share?
Exactly, because there are such high expectations for the Apple Watch. Where do we see this market headed, as fragmented as it is right now?
It'll be interesting to see how this develops in the next few months, because there have been increasing reports about the alliances that Apple is trying to seal in the healthcare industry, in the insurance industry. And if they can incentivize insurance policyholders to take an Apple Watch or perhaps subsidize that cost, that could really lead to substantial growth in unit sales. There are questions about whether actually now having this cellular connectivity will also drive demand substantially. It was perhaps holding it back. The point where we'll really know that this is significant is when they start breaking out Apple Watch sales. At the moment, it's part of the other products business, which also include things like the iPod and the AirPod. So that will really be the telling point.